All right, who is ready for some e-learning? This video is mainly geared towards some students who were not in school today, Monday, and you didn't get a chance to maybe go through some of the downloading and the expectations that I'm going to expect you to do while you are at home still working and completing your schoolwork. So some of the first things I want you to do, let's start with Skype. So down in the start search bar, I want you to type Skype. And I want you to open Skype for Business. And then when you do that, it's going to ask you to log in. Use your school email address and your school password. And then you should start to see something similar to this window here. We're going to use Skype to communicate. It's going to allow us to communicate through video chat, through a phone message, or through sharing screens. What do I mean by that? It's like, for example, let's say I wanted to talk to Chris here. If I double click on that, I could simply just type a message and send a text message or a message to Chris. I could also do a video call, which means it's going to use your video or camera on your laptop. I don't see us using that really. There is a voice call, so if you want to speak to me verbally, or there is a share content, which can be very beneficial because if you're running into a problem and I can't understand like what you're trying to say, you could click this button and you can share your desktop with me remotely, which means I can then see your screen and see what you're talking about, and then we can communicate back and forth to help you troubleshoot. So that's the gist of Skype. If you did want to find someone, you could simply just type their name here, for example, me, and then you could double click and you can contact me. So that's Skype. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that you're set up for and checking is Remind. Please make sure you are checking the Remind app daily, as well as your school email. That'll help us all stay in contact and make sure we're all on the same page, and you can get help if you need it. So those are kind of like our three main lines of communication. The other thing that I did want to draw your attention to is our attendance. So in our binder, if you open up your OneNote binder at home, make sure you right-click Sync It, because I've gone ahead and added in some new pages for our e-learning days. And if you look at the student instructions, this is going to explain to you how to check in for attendance each day. So you're going to get a code, and that code will be posted on our JTHS website or our JT Learn site. I'm sure it'll also probably be on our social media pages. So check that out to get the code. Once you get the code, you're going to go ahead and go to examlogin.com. You're going to click I have a code. You're going to enter the code and your student ID number. You're going to click Find. You're going to type in your first and last name. You're going to say I am participating in e-learning and hit Next. Now you only have to do that once per day, and then that'll check you in for attendance for all of your classes. But it has to happen between that 9:30 and 11 a.m. window. So make sure you check in for attendance. All right, so what did we talk about? We talked about lines of communication. We talked about checking in for attendance. Now let's talk about what you got to do for my class. If you go to the Fusion 360 tab, so find that. It's also in your binder. I pushed it out into your binders as well. So find your binder, go into the Fusion 360. The first thing you got to do is download this software. So what is Fusion 360? It's another CAD software made by Autodesk, and we're going to use it to help you learn Fusion. We're going to use that to teach you a new software. It's a cloud-based software, so that's why you can download it on your student laptop. Some have asked me, why aren't we doing this with Inventor? Because the Inventor is way too large of a software and it takes up too much space, and your student computers can't handle it. So the first thing I want you to do, click this link, and then go to the website. Now, some of you may have already made an Autodesk account. If you're not sure, just click sign in, type in your school email, hit next, type in the password, and if it doesn't work, if it says that this email is not recognized, then you have to create an account. I'm going to create a separate account just so you can kind of get a feel for this. What we need to do is create an account and then go ahead and get access to Fusion 360 so we can download it. So I'm going to click create account. I'm going to go ahead and go to the country. We're going to go United States here. I'm going to scroll down. There we go. Educational role, you're going to choose student. Institution type, you're going to choose high school, secondary, and then go ahead and put in your birthday. And then go ahead and hit next. For the first name, go ahead and fill that in. Last name, email, use your school email address. Create a password. Alright, and then click I agree and then hit create account. I'm going to pause for 1 second. And then it's going to go ahead and send you an email. Go ahead and open up that email and verify the email address, and then I'll show you what to do next. So then once you click the email, and it should take you to something like this, and then you can hit done. And now we got to finish filling out some more information. For the educational institution, that's the name of the school. So just start typing Joliet, and then you should see Joliet Central High School. And we're going to do architecture and engineering for our area of study. For the enrolled date, you can do March of this year, 2020. For graduating, we can do March of 2024. And then hit next. And then we can hit continue. Alright, then you can go ahead and click on Get Access right here. And then now you're going to click this little button that says you can download it here. Click that, and then it's going to download on the bottom of your screen. Once that downloads, go ahead and click it and open it. Now when you open it, it's going to ask you to probably sign in again, use your school email and password, and then it's going to ask you 2 more questions that I can't show you because I can't download it because I've already downloaded it. The first question is, do you want to create a team or join a team? Click on Create Team, and then the next question is going to ask you to allow something. Go ahead and click Allow and then Continue, and then you should be all set with Fusion 360. Now, once you've got it downloaded, let's talk about what you're actually going to do with this software. So we're actually going to sign up for an online course made by Autodesk. They have pretty much like this online school, and it's called Autodesk Design Academy, and we're going to enroll for a course for you to take while you're at home through this website. So to do that, go ahead and click on this link underneath the Foundational Concept course page, and then it should take you to a site that looks like this. Now you're going to have to click the Sign In button. Go ahead and sign in with your school email and the password that you made for your Autodesk account that we just set up. Once you have logged in, we need to search for the course. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this little search button. I'm going to click in here and I'm going to type in Foundational Concepts. And then I'm going to enter on the keyboard to search that. And then it's going to give us a list of results. We actually want that first one right there in the results, so I'm going to click there. And you're going to notice that once you get in this site, it takes a little bit. So be patient. Watch your loading bar up here. I've noticed that when I'm in this site, it does take a minute. Don't keep clicking. Watch the load bar. Just let it load and let it do its thing. So now this is the course. Now you should see an Enroll button. Click Enroll, so click that. I'm not going to unenroll because I'm already signed up for the course. So go ahead and enroll. We're in the Fusion 360 Foundational Concepts course. It's made by a gentleman named Matt Perez for Fusion 360. The topic is engineering. It's a beginner level course, and it looks like there's over 9,000 current enrollees. If we scroll down in the course here, you're going to see a graphic with a short description of the course. And then on the right hand side, you're going to see the name of the course, how many lessons there are, the length of the lessons, the total length. You're going to see a course description, and then the 9 lessons that you need to complete in order to finish this course. So if you expand these lessons, you'll see the steps that you need to do to complete that single lesson. When you see a green check mark, that indicates that you've completed that lesson. So if you notice, I'm 22% done with the course because I've already finished lesson 1 and lesson 2. Now there's a little bit more to this that I want to talk about. Let's go and do one thing, and then we're going to talk about how I'm going to grade you on this. We're going to expand this lesson 1, and I just wanted to show you how to download the course resources. First off, what are course resources? It's a folder of files that they're going to be expecting you to open while you're going through certain lessons. Like, hey, go open this file in Fusion and do this with me type of thing. So the first thing you want to do is click this little download button. Now, just so you know, I did include instructions on how to do this under the downloading course resources page in the OneNote binder. If you don't feel like watching this part of the video, you could pause, but then please come back because I need to talk to you about the next page in the binder. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that little download button right here. It's going to download down here on the bottom, but you're going to notice that the folder looks a little weird. It's got a zipper on it. So I'm going to click this little arrow. I'm going to hit Show in Folder. What that's going to do is it's going to open up File Explorer and show me where that folder was saved at. It's currently saved in my downloads, which is fine. But the problem is it's zipped. So I need to unzip the folder. So to do that, we're going to right click it, and you're going to do an Extract All. And then you're going to click Extract. That's going to unzip the folder. This window won't pop up for you. It's because I already downloaded, so it's just replacing it for me. So it went ahead and it unzipped the folder. I'm going to close out of that window that just opened up. I want to show you I currently have the folder unzipped right here in my downloads, and I still have the zipped one. Now I don't need the zipped one anymore, so I'm going to right click and delete that. I'm going to scroll back up and go to the folder that I unzipped, and in there you're going to see a list of folders, and it looks like it's starting on lesson 3 that they're going to start wanting you to open up some Fusion files as you're working through the course. So that's how to download the course resources. So I jumped ahead in the first lesson. You'll have to go back and start here. Alright, we're almost there. Last thing I want to talk about is evidence of completion. So this is how I'm going to grade you and give you points throughout your completion of this course. So again, be patient when clicking through. Remember, watch that load bar, let it load when you're going from lesson to lesson. It can be a little bit slow in the beginning. As you go through the course, you should be working in Fusion 360 and doing the same things that they're doing in the video. So you're going to have to pause and play and do what they're doing. In the beginning, it's a little bit more just watching and listening, but as you get into the lessons and they're working in the software, you should be doing that with them. After you finish each lesson of the course, you need to type some key things you learned during that lesson. You don't need to list every single little thing you learned, just the things you feel are important that kind of stood out and maybe that you would want to review at a later date. You also need to screen clip pictures to prove you finished it. Insert your screen clip in the table below for each lesson. See my example for the first one below. This page is going to be graded and put into the gradebook. Each lesson is worth 5 points apiece for a grand total of 45 points. This will also, there will also be a separate test that you'll take through our testing website based on what you learned from this online course. So that'll come at the end, and I'll explain more about that later. Let's not worry about that. Here's my example. So this is the teacher example for lesson 1. Notice the screen clip picture with the green check mark proving that you finished it, as well as some general notes and maybe a summary of what I learned. Now for this first one, it's very vague and it's very simple because we're not really going in depth into the software yet. I'm going to expect some better notes and summary once you get further into the lessons. Again, not every little thing though that the guy is talking about. You don't need to type word for word. So that's how I'm going to be grading it. My current tentative due date is going to be this Friday for the course. So the 20th. So I'm expecting you to be able to get through the 9 lessons by this Friday. I know it says an hour 47, but I know it's going to take you longer than that because you're going to be pausing, playing, maybe trying to troubleshoot some things, figure some things out, play around a little bit, try some things. So I'm expecting it to take you longer than that hour 47, and that's why tentative due date is this Friday. Now, this is the first time we've ever ran into this scenario, so I am going to be flexible. I will be checking binders on Friday. So again, make sure you are also syncing your binder. That way I'm getting the most up-to-date information on what you finished. And again, I may push that date back. We're going to see how we do and get through this first course, and we'll go from there. In the future, we got spring break here, so we're not going to be working that week unless maybe you didn't finish a course and you would like to try and finish it during that time. But again, tentative due date Friday. Now, if we finish the course and we're still off of school, you need to expect to see some new pages in the OneNote binder, probably for another course. I haven't decided on what that course is going to be yet. I have found some cool ones, like there's one on like drones, but we just need to make sure that that course is using Fusion 360. I also may just say, hey, you go find a course that you want to learn Fusion 360 and do a project with, or something like that. So we'll see. I'm not exactly sure yet. We'll cross that bridge once we get to it. But hopefully, after watching this video, you understand the eLearning Day expectations, attendance, the course that you're going to be completing for my class, the online course, how you're going to be graded, and the communication, through Skype, through Remind, and through your emails. You should be checking those often. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I will be near my phone. I will be near my Skype and email, checking that daily. If it is after 3:15, don't expect an immediate response. Give me a little bit of time to get back to you. I might not be right next to my computer or phone at that time. Otherwise, that is it. I'm really looking forward to hearing your success stories and seeing the cool things that you're learning while working through Fusion 360 during this unique scenario that we're running through. So if you need anything, reach out. Thank you.